Good afternoon, everyone. If you can hear me, please indicate by raising your hand. There's a raised hand bar on your screen. Just click on it so I can see that people can hear me. Okay, great. Thank you, guys. Thank you for taking the time to join us on this webinar today. We'll be discussing the ways you can achieve competitive advantage using business analytics. My name is Magdalene, and I'm the business analytics lead for Signal Alliance. I've been working with data and analytics for the past 4 years, and I've worked with clients in different industries, ranging from hospitality to the financial sector. I'm joined today by my team members, and they'll give a brief background on their experiences as well.
Hi guys, good afternoon. I am Ogundele Oladimeji. I have a background in electrical and computer engineering, and I have over 3 years experience in using messaging, server administration, and data analytics technologies. I'm also one of the very few Microsoft solutions experts and developers around.
Hello everyone, my name is Taiwo. I have a strong background in analytics with a bachelor's degree in statistics. My work experience spans various research projects around Microsoft solutions, and I'm particularly excited about their latest data analytics solution, Power BI.
Great, so now that you know a bit about everyone, let's dive right into the subject of analytics and how it can help you achieve competitive advantage in your sector. We'll start by giving a brief background about Signal Alliance. Signal Alliance is a diversified technology company. We've had experience for over 21 years in the IT industry. We are located in Lagos and Abuja, and there's a brief background on us on the screen, which you can quickly take a minute or two to just get to know us. So on our agenda today, we'll start by looking at what constitutes competitive advantage. We'll look at the industry-defined strategies companies can employ to achieve competitive advantage. We'll see what business analytics is and how it ties into those competitive advantage strategies. And finally, we'll take the questions that you have at the end of our discussion. As we go along, we'll have a few poll questions to get your feedback on certain aspects of our discussions. Kindly vote when you see those questions come up on your screen. We just want to make this session as interactive as possible. We'll set the tone of our conversation with this. According to a report by Forbes, which was based on a research done by the Economist Intelligence Unit, 63% of companies in Asia are generating value in terms of revenue based on their data. Now, that figure was 58% in the United States and 56% in Europe. A whopping 83% of the companies surveyed said that data from their existing products or services are making those products or services more profitable. Now, bringing this back home to Nigeria, the statistics are non-existent. But we like to believe that that's largely due to our lack of documentation and not the lack of data use. As we can see from the statistics, it shows a huge potential for revenue generation or increased profitability when data analytics is used to drive organizations' go-to-market strategies. So when we think about these things, we'll take a first poll question. And this question is to find out what is closest to your organization's data practice. What do you do currently? Is it that you don't gather data, you already gather data from the businesses, from your business interactions? I believe the question is up on your screen now. We have 4 options. Kindly vote on the option that is very close to your organization's data strategy. Okay, great. We can see that voting has started. We'll just give a couple of minutes for a few other people to vote. Hello, we only have 20% of voters. The other 80% of our attendees, we don't want to vote.
It's 40%.
Okay, great. Now it's 40%. These stats are very encouraging. I can see that a large number of you guys have an in-house data analyst. I'm encouraged. Okay, great. More votes are coming in. So our top options are, we have an in-house data analyst and we collect data for record purposes. Great. Okay, so let's ponder on this as we proceed to define exactly what constitutes competitive advantage.
Okay, thank you very much, Magdalene. Competitive advantage is basically what makes you better than the competition in your customer's mind. And I think that's pretty much what every business desires. But then desire is not just enough. Then competitive advantage is also more or less the leverage that you have over your competitors. Or put it this way, it is a condition or circumstance that puts your company in a favorable or superior business position. And it is that edge that a business has over all other competitors in the market they play in.
Now, we know that every industry we know of has several brands that has something that differentiates it from others in the same market or business. I remember when I was a kid, and anytime I was asked for what drink I wanted, I would always ask for Coke or Fanta first. I knew there was Mirinda or Limca, but they never came to my mind first. I know that our listeners also have their preferred brands. So the point is, every business wants to be first in something.
Thank you, Taiwo, for that example. You took me right back to my childhood. Now, there are certain already defined strategies which companies can leverage to give themselves a boost among their competitors. One of such strategies is cost leadership. This happens when a company provides the same value as its competitors, but it does so at a lower price. At first glance, this looks easy. Just find out how you're doing compared to your competitors in terms of value proposition, then drop your price to make it lower than everyone else's. However, things don't work just as easily. There are a number of factors that go into costing a product or a service, and this has to be done carefully so you don't end up making a loss. Looking at the data in terms of the costs associated with that product or service, I'm talking about things like operational costs, material, and transportation costs. Now, this will make things a lot clearer as to whether or not dropping your price will be plausible to take as an action without affecting your value.
Well, I think a good example of this is when you want to buy a smartphone, for example. Now, you have two major brands in mind, say Techno and Huawei. Since both phones have virtually the same features and functionality, an average consumer would most likely go for a Techno phone because of the lower price. Now, that's cost leadership.
Yeah, in addition to what Tara has just said, recently one of the leading financial institutions around lowered their interest rates on personal loans. And of course, what that would directly cause is a number of people that would not bank with them normally switched banks because the bank was previously perceived as a bank for old people. But because they lowered their interest rates, a number of younger people now bank with them. And the interesting thing about this is those young people now do free marketing and free ads for this bank.
Fantastic. So another way companies can position themselves for competitive advantage is through differentiation. They will provide a superior product or service to the consumers, often at a premium price. And those consumers won't mind paying the extra price because of that added value. For example, I might decide to open a new account in a particular bank, regardless of the fact that they charge me slightly higher rates for my current account withdrawals, simply because maybe they have great customer service or their online platform works flawlessly.
So I would like to cite an example here, Magdalene.
Okay.
I recently got an iPhone, even though I would have gotten the cheaper phone with similar features,
I think that's the operative word there,
yeah,
similarly.
But then the features the iPhone provide are just not comparable to the ones the Chinese family of phones have to offer.
Wow, amazing. I believe you are having a swell time with your iPhone.
Well, you can get one too.
Okay, so let's assume that a company has decided to work with this differentiation strategy. How do they even know what their current brand perception is as compared to their competitors? A lot of times, this data is available either internally, if they do things like customer polls, or externally on social media, where people talk about pretty much anything. By analyzing such data, the company can very easily know the areas that they need to work on, as well as the areas of their strength. So a third strategy that companies use for competitive advantage is focus. This happens when a company targets a small niche of the market. For example, let's say a state, or you're targeting children under the age of 5. That's just an example. Now, they service that market better than anyone else. The company can use either cost leadership or differentiation as a strategy, but all of their efforts are focused on that small niche. They're just saying, in Lagos, for example, if you're thinking banking, you have to think us. Or in Lagos, if you're thinking insurance, it has to be us.
I also like to go back to the smartphone example. The Techno Camon C phones were majorly designed for young women because of their interest in taking selfies.
I'm a Camon phone.
Yeah, you see, that's right. So you see that this is a major focus strategy for the company, and we all know that it's working well for them.
So now that we've seen the strategies for achieving competitive advantage, let's take a deeper look into business analytics and how that can help whichever strategy your company chooses. Dimeji, do you want to take the reins on this one and explain what business analytics is?
Thank you very much, Magdalene. And now I really hope I don't sound too technical. Okay, so business analytics refers to the combination of skills, technologies, applications, and processes used by organizations to gain insight into their business based on data and statistics to drive planning efficiently and productively. Now, this is due to the obvious fact that standalone data is normally ambiguous. Most times, standalone data don't just make any sense at all. So, business analytics is more or less making more sense out of your data, and this will help your business grow.
So basically, Dimeji, what you're saying is business analytics has to be done continuously.
Of course.
It is not something that an organization does once and then moves on from,
No.
but rather something that continuously informs them on things like the areas to focus on,
Exactly.
the improvements that needs to be made, just things like that.
Exactly.
Right, great. So why is business analytics important in our competitive advantage discussion? The reason is simple. If your company really wants to position itself for that advantage or maintain its advantageous positions if you're already a leader in your sector, you'll need to answer the critical questions of your business. What are you doing right? What's missing? What can you add? What factors, if present or absent, will greatly affect your business? What is the socio-economic or political climate like, and how does that affect your business? A lot of times, those data you need a lot of times those answers that you need are already present in your existing data. This can be data within your organization, your internal data, or data that is available externally. For example, what your competitors are doing better than you. That will not be internal. You find out outside. So let's take a deeper look at the different types of answers that our data can give us. And this will set the tone for the rest of our conversation. Taiwo, do you want to take the reins on this one?
Sure. Um, like you said, there are lots of information present in your data that analytics helps you to understand. You can get valuable facts from the figures generated by your business on a daily basis. You can get descriptive answers from your data, like you can see on the slide. These are key stats such as how much revenue did we make this year, what is our average sales, which of our products had the highest sales, or how much profit did we make in the first quarter. Now, analytics gives intelligent answers to these questions in a great way.
A good example of this can be the bank which declared the highest profit returns for 2016, for example, or the insurance company with the highest customer base as at, say, December 2016. Now, you're saying using analytics, your data can show you exactly how much growth your company is experiencing or has experienced in the past, rather than leaving that to a lucky guesstimate or worse, an erroneous figure.
Another key insight you can get from your data are comparative answers. This compares two or more entities and analyzes their performance. For example, let's say an insurance company offering car insurance and life insurance. They may want to know how well both products are faring given the market conditions. Now, comparative statistics helps the company to drill down beyond the actual sales figure to the factors affecting their performances, thereby gaining valuable knowledge needed for better planning.
Okay, still on answers that you can find in your data, associative analytics would provide answers to questions like why did a certain product perform better than another product during a particular period, and why does a particular product enjoy more patronage after certain events. For example, why do bank customers use more of internet banking and mobile banking just before and during festive periods? Questions like what factors determined the performance of a particular service rendered? Was it the time of the year, or the mode of marketing, or the target market? A good example of that would be companies that sell umbrellas. Of course, they have more sales during the rainy season because there's more demand for umbrellas during the season, and of course, no one wants to be beaten by the rain. And then the predictive answers, they actually provide the magic because they can help you make very informed decisions, um, and provide insights into how much, for example, how much revenue that you can generate if you say increase your marketing budget, or how much you can save if you decide to stop providing some additional services. Of course, all of these insights will come from your available data, and in the end, it will help you generate more revenue and help you have improved customer satisfaction.
I think an example is a major telecoms company that wanted to launch a new product recently. They decided to invest in analytics before launching, which, with the help of a predictive model that was generated through analytics, they were able to know the future performance of the product. Now, armed with this information, they were able to make necessary adjustments, thereby making the product an overnight success.
And I heard there was nothing like an overnight success.
That's what you get when you invest in analytics.
Great. So we have another poll question, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So now we'll be taking another poll question. We'll launch it right here. And the question on the poll question, the question we have is, with business analytics, you can predict
Correctly.
You can predict correctly. Okay, I believe we can all see our screen. Now, want you to vote if you agree that you can predict correctly with business analytics, or you disagree, or you're not sure. Now we have some votes. 25% of our listeners have voted that they agree. That's great. We still like to have more votes.
50%.
Okay, 50%, great.
Everyone is attentive.
Yeah.
Fantastic. Thank you, Taiwo. A key thing to remember is that business analytics gives you insights based on facts about the performance of your business and the factors that are influencing that performance. So to remain ahead of the competition, you need to know exactly what results are gotten from what actions to help better planning and to reduce vagueness, like our sales dropped this quarter because of the harsh economic climate. What exactly in the harsh economic climate made your sales drop? So those are the kind of questions that you should be asking. With business analytics, all business stakeholders can see the areas of the business which require improvement or investment. This can aid better and faster decision making because everyone is always on the same page. Organizations can also see the trends in their sales as well as the potential gaps in the market. Now, the ability to spot market gaps is very valuable, and here's why. An organization that's looking at their data can spot products or services that will perform better if another product or service was available based on their industry experience. For example, a bank might notice that they can get more customers from a particular region of the country if they offered customer service in that region's common language. Let's say Hausa, for example. Now, if they are the first to spot this type of need, and then they provide that added service or product, not only will they increase their customer base and their revenue, they'll also become pioneers in that area, and that gives them an excellent chance to become market leaders. We'll tie everything we've discussed together by looking at a hypothetical scenario. We'll start with the blue rectangle on the left, which represents our fictitious company's data analysis results. Basically, the results show that they've been able to increase the profits by 8%. That's fantastic news. However, that increase came from a 10% increase in their marketing budget. So we know something extra now. An increase in our marketing budget could mean more profit. But which products or products produced the bulk of this profit? For the purpose of this webinar, we'll keep our focus on just our top and bottom performers. We can see that package X is our best seller, producing 35% of our total profit. We also know something else about package X. Everyone who bought it fell into the 45 to 65 age range. With this insight, we can begin to ask questions like, what will happen if we concentrated our marketing efforts for package X on people within the 45 to 65 age bracket? Now, if we look at the pale yellow box on the right, which represents the actions that our fictitious company has taken, we've decided to redistribute the allocation of our marketing budget by giving package X 5% more, since it's our bestseller. And we've also decided to target people within the 45 and 65 age bracket. Now, those actions made an already performing product to perform even better. Now, for our least performing product, which is package Y, let's assume we discovered that we were trying to sell it to people between 25 and 35. So when we found out it wasn't doing so well, we decided to do further investigation. And we found out that most people between 25 to 30 prefer making money fast, and they will prefer a faster paying package. As a result, we decided to create a new package called package Z, which now cater to that group of people, and we will focus our marketing of package Y to people that are just between 30 and 35, since they're a little older. Now, that also produced better results for package Y because we're able to grow its percentage profits from 2 to 6%. We also got an added bonus from doing all of these things. Our customer satisfaction rating increased from 56 to 80%, probably because we had begun to offer products or services to the people who actually need them, rather than to everybody.
Thanks, Magdalene, for those great insights and statistics. Now, you have to agree that data analytics is most valuable to any business, regardless of their most present needs or goals. With the application of data analytics, businesses will better understand their customers and therefore can predict their future buying patterns. For example, a retail business that sends a new product SMS advert to all its customers. I get a lot from the yellow company. the telecoms company. I get a lot of them. Now let's take, for example, that scenario. Let's say they send to all their customers, and it's only 5% of the customers that need this product that they are trying to sell through the SMS, although it still depends on the goal of their campaign. But in this instance, the business could have saved like 95% of its advertisement costs if detailed analytics was performed on customers to determine their preferences. Now, data analytics will help you determine the actual causes of sales decline rather than just attributing it to some vague or harsh business climate. So, data analytics is not an end in itself, but a means to an end. Now, it's something you do every step of the way, every decision you make in your business. With data analytics, insight is translated into business decisions with appropriate actions taken to improve the business performance, such as reducing cost, improving revenue, managing risk, measuring performance, complying with regulations, and so on. So you see that you stand to gain so much more from investing in data analytics.
All right, thank you very much, Taiwo. So what you're saying in essence is, with data analytics, I can cut my costs as a business.
Of course, yes.
Right, thank you very much. So we'll be having another poll question now, and this time we'll be asking you, what is most important to your business? What is the most important thing to your business? We have 4 options. Do you care so much about the increase in sales volume, or you are interested in your customer satisfaction, or you want a sustainable revenue growth, or you want reduced production costs? We're having interesting results here. Very interesting results. Okay, so 25% of our listeners think that sustainable revenue growth is more. 25% think customer satisfaction is more important. Another 25% think sales volume is most important to them. Interesting results.
I think most people agree that sustainable revenue growth.
Yes, we have a higher percentage there.
Interesting result. Okay, so
thanks for voting, guys.
Thank you very much for voting. So the poll results are expectedly similar and of course very interesting. But then it goes to show that most of us think that sustainable revenue growth is very important to our business. However, all of the listed items are important. But then with business analytics, you can streamline your, you can tell the areas that you should focus more as a business.
Great, thank you, guys. For those of us who already have data analysts in our organization, or those of us who don't even have at all, we can see the value of data analytics. If you're ready to get started with analytics for those who don't have, or you just want to do more to be able to get deeper insights, to find those things that are not so obvious from just your reports, we can help you with that. At Signal Alliance, we offer deep organization analytics with Microsoft Power BI. I'm sure a lot of us have heard about that. It creates great interactive reports and dashboards that offer us useful insights. We also offer advanced analytics where we use industry-leading tools to analyze your data and come up with those hidden insights. You can also come to us for data management and governance.
Okay, so you can reach us on our phone number and our email address as is displayed on the site. The phone number is on the slide. We have an email address that you can send your emails to, and you can also visit our website to contact us.
Now, thanks for listening, guys. We are virtually done with the webinar. Well, thank you for staying with us. We would like to take questions now. If you have any questions, feel free to ask. You can type the questions in the question box on your screen. I'm sure you can all see the question box. So, so right now is the time for Q&A. If you have questions, do let us know them now, and we'll try as much as possible to answer your questions. So let's have the questions.
still waiting.
There's a question.
There's a question.
When is item 7? Item 7 is in 2 minutes.
That's great. So thank you guys.
We would also send a copy of these slides to all our participants. Thank you for
I think you have
joining us. We have another question. Is there any professional association? Sorry, I don't think your question. Okay, that certifies data analysts.
There are exams for data analytics.
Yes,
There are exams
they
for
are.
data analytics, depending on the tool you want to use. I think
We hope you got that. There are certifications for data analysts, but that depends on the tools that you have decided to use. Remember we said data analytics is not just one thing, it's a number of things. So let's say I've decided to go forward using X tools because I'm more comfortable with them. I will do my certifications in that area.
Okay, we have another question.
Do you have another question?
I think it's just a follow-up to the earlier asked question. For instance, ECC or ICANN. Of course. Okay, does that answer your question?
Thanks, guys. Do you have another question?
Okay.
Okay. Sorry, let's try and read. We have another question, but we're trying to read it from this end. Okay.
Okay, you have a contribution.
Okay, we have a contribution. The concern for me is how can Signal Alliance support and follow through with derived data to move one's business forward? Okay, what Signal Alliance has already is a team of experts, dedicated experts that work with data, with your data, to continuously find out what the story is behind your data, what's going on, what's also going on outside your organization, in your industry, what are the things that affect you. So these are things that we can sit down with you and come up with a strategy or a roadmap to say, okay, weekly, monthly, or quarterly, we want to be seeing these metrics, and we want to see, based on the results of the analysis, whatever it is we find out, we will take certain action, or we will present it to those who need to take those actions to say, these are the facts, this is what we think you should do, these are our recommendations, and then you continually put them in place. Now, if something is working, we'll find out why is it working. If something is not working, why isn't it working? So there are a lot of decisions and experiments that we really need to happen in your organization. Like Taiwo said, it is not a one-off thing that we do for you. It's something that we do for you continuously. And with those answers, we can assure you that we will move your business from where it is now to where you want it to be.
And of course, your customers will be more satisfied with your services.
Definitely. The goal of it is not just to make profit. It's to make profit, it's to position you as a leader in your industry space, and also to benefit your customers, make them happy with you. I think that's why we're all in business.
Yes.
And hopefully, this webinar doesn't end here. This is probably one of the series of webinars we'll be having. So maybe in our much later webinars, we'll actually drill down more into those solutions.
Exactly. We'll be having future webinars where we'll be looking at specific verticals. Let's say we're taking insurance, for example. Our audience then will be just the guys in insurance, where we'll drill down into the issues in insurance and then see how data analytics can help us. And then we can also pay visits to your organizations. We'll have meetings, and it's just a continuous strategy. Thank you. I believe we don't have any more questions. So thank you everyone who are taking out the time to join us today. We hope to see you next time.
Thank you, guys.
Thanks, guys.